Namaste dear learners. Today we are going to see a VNR Vignan Jyotis, one of the differentiator lab protocol for applied physics lab. In that context, we are going to see for one experiment. Before that, what is a lab protocol and what is its objective? So the main objective is to structure and conduct the lab course as an interconnected whole rather than isolated parts. Means learning is not enough, applying is important is the motto for the lab protocol. To continuously map lab work on classwork and syllabus to enhance the depth of learning, make the students more imaginative, creative, and independent in problem solving, motivate the students to design and planning of new experiment rather than just conducting the experiment, and to make the students to feel that they're accomplishing means heartfully they're completing the task of a major project or a task or a simple experiments in the lab, and to incorporate intellectual and manual skills of doing something. So all these skills will be developed in the lab space. So where the lab protocol is much useful, in simple we can say the lab protocol is the bridge between your experiment and application. The experiment what we are doing here are going to be applied somewhere. What is that somewhere is known with the lab protocol. As part of lab protocol, this video will see for the experiment rigidity modulus of a given wire using torsional pendulum. For this, first you'll see the concept. Here, the rigidity modulus is a mechanical property of a material wire. It is the ratio of shear stress to the shear strain. The small oscillations about the axis perpendicular to the plane of rigid body constitute a torsional pendulum as shown the image here. Now, the same concept continues. In this way, we'll consider the experimental arrangement. Whenever we twist this disc, that mechanical energy is stored in the spring or a wire, and when we leave it, that is twisted back or that exerts a proportional force at the same amount in the opposite direction, which makes the oscillations. So when applied, the sideway force twist the co coils tighter, reducing the spring diameter and making its body longer. And come to lab activity, the main objective in this experiment is to determine the modulus of rigidity of a material wire for a given torsional pendulum, and to calculate error in modulus of rigidity in different methods. So to do this, we have our resources consist of metal disc with a chuck nut at its center and another chuck nut fixed to a wall bracket or rigid clamp, metal wires, stopwatch, meter scale, screw gauge, vernier calipers, rough balance with weights. So with these resources, we are going to do the lab activity. Now in this activity, first we'll suspend the disc and we will get some oscillations in this direction. So we'll count the oscillations and we will note down the time period for the oscillation. And we use this formula to calculate rigidity modulus. Here m refers to mass of the disk, r refers to radius of the disk, and small r refers to the radius of a wire, and L by T square we will measure or will take average from the tabular form provided in the lab, where T is the time period of oscillation and L is the length of pendulum. In fact, we are going to change the length of a pendulum for different cases or different trials. After taking all the readings, so first we will calculate or we will draw this graph, and randomly we'll take a value of L and corresponding T square value we will calculate, and we will substitute it here to get neta, that is rigidity modulus value. Now to calculate mass, we use the weigh balance or a rough balance as shown here. And to calculate the radius of the disc, we take the help of vernier calipers. And radius of the wire we will calculate by using screw gauge. So here the experiment is one, but we are going to use many small instruments to complete the task. And doing is not enough, we must check it. So here we use the least square fitting method to find or to reduce the error in the experiment. We'll take the 5 trial values and substitute in this x and y, where x refers to length of pendulum with the different 5 cases, y refers to the square of the time period of the oscillations again for 5 different cases. By substituting it here, we are going to get the value by reducing error. Now come to application. The major task of lab protocol is to show the applications. The main application of this one is a springs in clocks. We know all in analog clocks or wall clocks, if we take a small springs were observed. So the rigidity modulus play a major role while selecting the material of those clocks, because they should be twisted easily and the thing should be less for it. And another spring system, you can say coil spring suspension system, especially we use in case of bikes and cars and other automobiles. So here these springs should be able to take a large force present on that. So while selecting these materials also, rigidity modulus play a major role. And another example is a cable cars at very much height that is going to be suspended, and these wires should be able to withstand the force or vibrations. And again here rigidity modulus play a major role. And in simple applications in our homes, we are using the hanging clips for the hanging cloths. So with how much force we are going to bend this one. So that is also again again rigidity modulus play a major role for all these applications. And come to the extension to the experiment. So here we are doing with the disc. If you want to extend it, the disc can be replaced with a rod and you can perform. But is the formula same? So definitely formula is not same. Here you must change the formula in accordance. Instead of disk you must take a rod. The moment of inertia is going to be changed. So think of it and you can try with the rod. So after going through this experiment, the concept of rigidity modulus and how the inertia will act will be understood, and diligence in handling high mass objects is enhanced, and measuring small measurements using different instruments like vernier calipers, screw gauge is learned. Realize the importance of applying mathematical models in physics concepts as we shown here, least square fitting method, and student can confidently apply this knowledge in his or her future endeavors of technological improvements, projects and research. So we must thank Google and other virtues for images, Team Physics and HOD Department of H&S, Principal, Director and Management of VNR VJIT. So in case of any query or questions, kindly post in comment box. Thank you very much. Happy learning one and all. Thank you.